Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV. Today we're talking about a lesson in values right here. Are you ready? Let's go. We're releasing this episode of Remarkable TV on July the 2nd. So I'm thinking about and talking a little bit about Independence Day. But the lessons that I'm sharing are universal, regardless of wherever you're watching from or whatever day you're watching on. So when I think of Independence Day as an American, proud American, I think about more than fireworks and parades and hot dogs and parties. I think about those things, but I also think about something else. I think about values. You see, we had forefathers who did hard, incredibly hard, painful and important things. And they did those, they made sacrifices for our independence based on shared and very clear values. It is those values that created that we now have the chance to live. And as leaders, we should never forget this lesson, again, regardless of where we live. You see, my message for you today is about values. And for you, I have 4 questions. Question number 1, what are your values? Do you know what they are? Do you know what the ones that are the most important to you are? I mean, maybe you could make a long list of things, but what are your core guiding principles and values? Make sure that you know what they are. Getting them clear is the first step. Just a muddled list doesn't help you get what our forefathers got. Doesn't help you get the results that they got either. Number 2, have you shared them? It's one thing to be clear on your values, but as a leader, if we want to help them help us lead, we must share them. People must know those things that are important to us. Most likely and most hopefully, they are in alignment with the organization in which we work. If they are, we have the chance to create something very, very powerful. Do you know your values and have you shared them? And then third, are people with you? In other words, are they willing to say, I buy those values. I can get behind those values. Their list doesn't have to be exactly the same as ours, but it has to be in alignment, right? Because here's the thing. We can get people to kind of go along with the work and comply, but we don't want compliance. What we want is commitment. And one of the ways that we can engender commitment as a leader is by having a clear set of values and have other people say, I can buy into that. I'm with that. I'm committed. I'm in. You know, our forefathers had that. They had people who were willing to make the sacrifices with them, but they weren't willing to make them until they understood and were clear. So these first 3 questions are incredibly powerful, which leads us to the 4th question, which is, how can those values change the world and your results? I don't have the answer to that one for you. That one's for you to think about. But here is what I know. If the first 3 answers are crystal clear, the chances that the 4th one will happen are much higher. You will get new and better results. You will make a bigger difference for your customers, for your communities, for the world, with the work that you do. When everyone on your team is clear on the values, when everyone has a clear purpose and why we're headed there, when that happens, miracles and magic can happen. Today we celebrate that in the United States, and we can celebrate that wherever we live as a leader as we understand the power of our values. Let me close with today's tweet. When we lead from our values, we have the chance to lead more powerfully than we might have ever imagined. A few years ago, right in this studio, we created a product. Well, it's a free product for you. It's called 13 Days to Remarkable Leadership. And each of the 13 days has a lesson taught from this studio. Really, it's a story. I tell you a story about a leadership skill, and then I give you a tool to help you apply it. It's really a full-fledged product, but it's completely free with our compliments. It's yours. It's 13 Days to Remarkable Leadership, and you can sign up for it at the links available right here. I hope you'll do that. Speaking of hoping, I hope you'll be back next week for another episode of Remarkable TV.